In this video, we are going to show on a calculator how we can figure out what a monthly payment is on a loan. And so this is your formula for it. We did a video previously kind of walking through this situation. And we had a certain amount that we borrow, and there was a rate, and a certain amount of time that it took for us to pay it down. So let me show you on your TI-84 or anything newer than this. There's an app on here that is called a finance app that will totally do all this for you. You just have to know and understand the pieces associated with it. So it is an app. So let me turn it on. And the very first one, it may have a whole bunch of them, but probably at the top says finance. So if you press enter, don't worry about all these other individual things. We're just going to do the solver. The solver is going to apply all of these pieces. So here's the idea behind it. The N on this is going to represent your number of payments, which was very similar to the N that was here. Is the total number of payments. So if you have a 30-year loan and you're paying it monthly, you're going to have 360 payments. If it's a car loan, you have 5 years and it's monthly payments, this value is going to be 60. So the total number of payments that you're going to have. The interest rate. The interest rate, you don't have to do anything to it. So if they say the interest rate 7%, the interest rate 7%. In this situation, the interest rate was 4%. So I'm just going to put a 4. I don't have to break it down. I don't have to do anything special. The program in here will do it for me. The PV represents a present value. So present value is how much you're borrowing. Okay. And then you have a monthly payment. We're going to solve for that. We're going to show how that works. The future value is going to be that you're going to pay off something. So the future value on a loan is always going to be 0. And then this typically is going to be a 12 and a 12. It's how many payments per year. That's why your interest rate doesn't have to be kind of broken up or anything. It's going to be calculated and then calculated per year. So basically, if you're making monthly payments, make this a 12, and you'll see that if this goes to 12, this will automatically adjust to 12. All right. So the situation that we have is you have a 25-year loan. And so 25 times 30 or times 12 over here, 25 times 12 represents 300 payments. Now you could also do 25 times 12 and it will do the math for you. So there's our total number of payments. So our situation was, it was a 4% interest rate. Good. Present value, it is we are borrowing. So since we are borrowing money, we're going to make this a negative 135,900. Too many zeros. All right. Even if you make it positive, I'll show you the difference between it. It doesn't really matter as long as you kind of comprehend what's going on. Our payment, we don't know. Our future value is going to be 0. So we'll press 0, enter. And if there's any other number in here, type it in and see how if you type in one, it kind of adjusts the other one. So we're going to make monthly payments. So it's automatically going to make that 12. All right. So this is the one we're focusing on. So to do our payments, we are going to zoom out of this for a second. There is a solve feature. So solve is this button right here. It's the enter button, but it's the green. So anytime you want the calculator to solve for a value, especially in this app thing, you click on solve. So I have to hit green solve in order for it to do that. So if I hit green solve, it's going to calculate the amount for me. So I'm paying $717.33, which is exactly what we calculated it by hand. Far more complicated than that. So again, just to make sure you know all your pieces to it, there's your total number of payments. This is your interest rate. This is what your present value. This is your principal. This is what you borrow. And then this is what your monthly payments are. So if I didn't pay attention, which is not a big deal, and I didn't put the negative on it, the only difference that would happen of when I solve it, the negative would go on to there. So it's really the exact same thing. You can kind of treat this as you borrow this money, so you receive this money, and now this is what you're paying. So one of these is going to be positive, one of them is going to be negative. Just depends on how you want to think of it, because it has to be paid down. All right. So and your future value. And so here you could like play with numbers. So in real life, if you had a car payment and you wanted to see how much was it going to cost you, you can just start throwing in numbers into this and it'll calculate it out. So if you had a 5-year, you had a 3.75 was your rate, and your car was $35,000. How much is it going to cost? It's going to cost you $640 a month. Okay, so there's all sorts of cool real life stuff that your calculator can do for you. I know there's apps, I'm sure, for this type of stuff. online on your phone, all that good stuff. But calculator has it as well. And it's very, very easy to use if you know the pieces. All right, so that was finding a mortgage or finding a loan using the TI-84.